Welcome to Follow Everton. I'm Ryan. I'm here with David, my brother, and fellow host on Follow Everton. We're here to do some player ratings. Yes, we've had 40 minutes talking about Everton's defeat at home, which you can watch on YouTube. Search for Follow Everton. We watched that back. That was a good video, and we had a lot of comments and people joining us, so thanks for that. But we're going to go straight into the player ratings. David, Jordan Pickford didn't have much to do. But can you give me your assessment of Jordan Pickford?
He didn't do a lot, did he? He just didn't have anything. You know what? Sheffield United didn't really have that many opportunities to score. They just scored with the first meaningful attack. They went forward. They had a couple of half chances, but Pickford picked the ball up well. You know, he controlled the box when he needed to, and you know, his distribution was fair. So I'm just going to give him an average rating of a 6.
I thought he thought he did everything he had to do, and he looks confident, which is what I'm impressed with Jordan Pickford. He seems to have put some of these bad mistakes behind him. So I'm going to give him a 7. I think he did everything he had to do. And the fact that he didn't have to do anything in terms of shot stopping wasn't really his fault. I think he was just a very confident keeper. He kept the ball moving, and he wasn't wasteful in possession. Luca Dean, for me, I'm going to go straight in there and give him a 4. He seems to tailed off majorly since he was given the new contract. I know we're not playing to his strengths in terms of he's got no one to link up with in front of him, but the crossing from the corners was abysmal. The delivery from fullback in terms of creativity was shy, and he made bad decisions. And defensively, he was out of position time and time again. So I can't give him more than a 4. What do you say to that?
I can't add much to that, apart from I just wonder where the hell he was when the first goal went in, because he didn't seem to be in line with the centre-backs. He seemed to be up the pitch, getting caught out. So, yeah, I'm just going to give him a 4 because he just didn't contribute anything, and his crossing was so poor, he was wasting our attacking play.
Please, if you're watching, I know there's lots of you watching, like the video and comment. Let us know what you'd give the player ratings for today. Do you agree with what me and David have given the players? We're going to move swiftly on. Michael Keane. He's looking more and more like a doorstop and less like a footballer. I can see why Southgate doesn't want him in the England team. Every time he tried to drive out with the ball, he looked clumsy. He didn't look confident. He didn't seem to have a plan. I think defensively, he was shaky. He was getting bullied by a 17-year-old child. And for me, I'm not giving him more than a 4 either. I don't know what you'd say to that.
Unfortunately, if you're Southgate, I can see exactly why he's not going to get in, and he's probably never going to get back in, because even if he plays to the best of his ability, there's better centre-backs out there performing better, and you'd be looking from after the Euros to start integrating the likes of Godfrey and Konza into that team and give them experience as young players who could be much better than Keane overall when they reach his age. I give him a 5. I mean, he wasn't. You know, but he was brainless going forward in terms of he's trying, but the balls are hopeless half the time. A couple of decent balls. I think one landed at Richarlison and he had that volley and it went over. But he didn't do a lot, did he?
His distribution was shite.
It was mixed.
His distribution was shite.
Look, he made an attempt to distribute, though. He did make attempts. Half of them were lumped, aimless balls, and a couple of them were directed balls into space. So I would say it's mixed distribution, but...
Okay. Talk to me about Godfrey, then. I mean, he's at fault for the goal for me.
He's at fault for the goal.
He gives it away.
Yeah. I don't know. I kind of want to give him...
I'm giving him a 0.
Or a 3.
Giving him a 0.
A 0. I mean, what would you rate his performance of the game without that moment of the goal?
Maybe a 3 or a 4, because he seemed to have a reluctance to bring the ball out from the back. He was letting people get the better of him. He was probably the best of the 3 in terms of the rest of that, maybe. But that for me was basic defending. He holds his position. But actually, the 2 of them drop out of line with the fullbacks, which makes no sense. So they're playing the kid onside, and then the kid gets the tap in because Godfrey has vacated his post. Like you said before, it was like a FIFA goal where you can't control what's happening. So, yeah, maybe on average between his rest of his game performance and that, maybe it's a 2 or a 3.
I give him a 3.
The game's gone when you do shit like that. The game goes,
No,
Sheffield United,
I'm going to give him a 3. Yeah.
Sheffield United gained so much confidence from that mistake and that goal. They had something for finally all season, they've had nothing to hold on to, nothing to believe in. The pressure was off, they're already down, and they had the chance there to win a game and make themselves look less of an embarrassment. And they did it, and they made us look like an embarrassment.
It's
and
the ultimate failure of us, isn't it? To concede that goal is like making the game as physically difficult as it could have been.
I mean, we'll just very quickly go to Jonathan's comment. Hi, John. He says 0 for all. Fulham all over again. I mean, I forget how many times we've lost. Did we lose to Fulham at home? They've already been relegated too. And who's the team that's been relegated? It's a disgrace. A team that's already been relegated, nothing to play for, compared for a team fighting for everything. He's hit the nail on the head. Dave, Mason Holgate, please. And the comments as well. Holgate.
I'm going to have to give him worse than Godfrey because, you know, I know Godfrey was more at fault for the goal, but he didn't really stop the cross. He didn't get tight enough. He looked like he was in the wrong position. And the back pass for me is giving him a downgrade as well. So I'm going to give him a 2. He was shite and deserved to be taken off because we needed to change the system and he wasn't offering anything.
Okay, Seamus Coleman.
Seamus, I don't know. He was isolated on his own. He's like chasing shadows. He had no support. Decore wasn't helping him enough, and you know he had no one to link up with. I just don't know with him. He was average, wasn't it? I don't give him a 5, but I don't know if that's generous. He just didn't do anything.
Generous. It's way too generous. I have to give him a 4. I like Seamus. He's a nice guy, and he's Everton captain. But for God's sake, he was isolated, and then he made bad decisions as well. And his defending, he was getting beaten by McGoldrick or whatever you call it.
What defending? No, he wasn't doing any defending because we conceded really early. So he's basically playing right wing,
pressing. These things, his delivery was bad as well. He didn't offer anything going forward. He was in the team to offer something going forward, and he was beaten so easily for the goal as well. If he's positioning.
Is this not a recurring theme though, that he gets a run of games and he sort of starts to flatter to deceive? He seems to run out of energy. When he comes back from an injury or he just plays an odd game, he looks like a world beater. Everyone gives him man of the match. Maybe he just can't play consistently.
3 games in a week. He looks fit. He played 3 games in a week.
Yeah, I just don't think he can play that many games. I just think he was forced to play it today because of the squad we have. It's that bad. Iwobi couldn't get in above him today because Iwobi's been that bad that Coleman has to play again 3 times when he's 33, and yeah, and he's in the wrong position.
I'm going to go midfield. I'm going to do the next. Decore. I mean, I'm always happy to see him play Decore. I think he's better box to box. He looked a bit slow. He took too many touches on the ball. He was always going backwards and sideways. That being said, he was always first to mop up and sweep up defensively. So whilst I think he was solid defensively on the ball, distribution was poor, taking too many touches, too negative, always wanted to check inside and pass it sideways. So I have to give him a 3. I'm sorry. And he shouldn't have played today. Too many games.
I don't know. Is he match fit? It's hard to know. I mean, he was okay, but he just doesn't offer much going forward, does he? He never really has offered a huge amount in terms of his passing. He just has to recycle it to Hammers and hope that he has a bit of space to do something with it. It's just Decore. I don't know. What did he do?
Maybe it was a bit harsh on Decore.
At Watford, he was playing as a cam. I just don't know what. He must have been some ability in terms of his attacking play.
He can play box to box at the tip of a 3 or CD. He can play any position in midfield. But I think he's a good. I think he's
playing the position. What does that involve? That surely involves more than just being in the area and just receiving the ball and then hitting a sort of a slow pass back to a defender that's sort of 5 yards away from where they want the ball.
He's good running in box late, making leap runs from deep, and he's good at. He's a good finisher in the box, and I don't think he's had opportunity to express that
But you're describing like a Tim Cahill there. He's certainly nothing on Tim Cahill, is he?
No, more defensive orientated. But yeah, I mean, we have to see more from him and from Alan again today.
I'm going to give him.
He's so slow. He's so slow, Alan, isn't he? He's clearly very bright footballer. You know, very good footballer. Martin Kieran said he's a top footballer, but sometimes I just see him go in for the ball when he maybe shouldn't go in, or tackle and he shouldn't go in, or give a silly foul away.
Tackle, doesn't he?
Giving fouls away, giving Sheffield United momentum when that was the last thing we needed them to do. So I find it difficult to give him more than a 3 as well, really. And he was guilty of making the pitch. You know, he was guilty of not getting close enough to the forwards in terms of winning the second balls as well. He was too deep.
I don't know, but you're giving the ratings as bad as Holgate. I mean, how can you give them as bad as Holgate?
I just think when I look at that midfield, I just think the midfield was so isolated and the defence was too deep. The defence should be pushed right up, winning the second balls and recycling it. The midfield picks it up, mops it up and moves it forward. And I didn't see that.
No, but Alan, he goes in for tackles. He can't help it. I think he's drawn to it. But if he doesn't do that, if he doesn't press and try and win the ball and try and tackle, then you're giving Sheffield United freedom of the park.
I'm not going to give Alan a 3. Then I'm going to have to give him more because he actually showed some desire to win the ball back and try and do something. I think he wanted to do something today. I think maybe he was held back by the crabs behind him and around him, really. So I'm going to boost him.
You're giving every crab the same rating. They're all
boost him a little bit. Graham, I don't know if you watched it. Hi, Graham. He's a friend of mine. He says Rayo. My response is Grayo. Did you watch the Everton game? What did you think? We'll go back now to the ratings. Just trying to think who was in that midfield. It's because it's so anonymous. Do you know what I mean?
James.
Do you want to do James? I mean,
I just don't know what to say. I mean,
one who's got some sort of penetration. You know what I mean?
Got a brain on him, and it's like the other players around him didn't expect him to play some of the balls he does because they're too intelligent for them. Especially Richarlison and Calvert-Lewin, who just don't have the intelligence. And I think he tried. I think obviously he just doesn't have a lot of legs, so he's just got to play his game, and he's a level above the others. But he just couldn't get through today. Too many Sheffield United players, and when he did create opportunities, that we didn't take the chances. You can't really blame him. He had that one real chance, didn't he, on the edge of the box where he shifted. He was composed.
Yeah, he was unlucky.
The defender blocked it. So, he didn't have a bad game. And he obviously wasn't totally sharp, and he got taken off for that reason. So, I'm going to give him a 5.5. I
think with James, he was unlucky. He gave away some really silly fouls, though, in the second half. That really, put a dampener on our momentum. And I'd be intrigued to know what people think with regards to James. I can see there's 8 of you following us, 9 of you. Let me know, 10 of you. Can you let us know what do you give James Rodriguez out of 10 for his performance today? I'm not saying he was the worst player on the pitch. For me, he was the only one who wanted to make something happen, but he wasn't at the races, so I'd have to give him maybe a 5. Graham says 12, 12 out of 10.
I don't know. Is he man of the match for you then? You're giving him a 5 and you're saying he wasn't at the races, but it sounds like he was your man of the match.
No, Jordan Pickford was my man of the match.
Oh, of course, yeah. But he didn't have anything to do the whole game.
I know. But he was my man of the match, which says it all. Sometimes it's not what you do, it's what you don't do. I think I've just made that quote up. On the other side, who was on the other side of the mid? No, it was
nobody. There's no width. It's just all central.
We had the 2 strikers, Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison. I'm going to do them together. They were both as bad as each other. Calvert-Lewin, he is a tap-in merchant. He's not going to beat a man. He's not going to run the. He was quite good when he was like this big number 9, pinging, taking the ball down on his chest, knocking it off. He didn't look at it today. He didn't seem interested, and then he fluffed his big chance, and Richarlison fluffed his big chances as well. Actually, I'm giving Richarlison lower than Calvert-Lewin. I'm giving Richarlison 2. I'm giving Calvert-Lewin a 3. reason is Richarlison was disinterested, couldn't control the ball, couldn't find another EFC player. He was as bad as he's been this season. Because there's no excuses today, because we did create 2-3 chances for him.
Yeah,
Whereas games we haven't.
I don't know. I'm still struggling to give him a worse rating than Holgate, but do you know what? Maybe he does deserve a 2 for me. And obviously I gave Holgate a 3, but I'm just thinking about in terms of, all right, Holgate contributed to us conceding, but Richarlison could have scored 1 or 2 goals with the chances he was given, and he failed. So I've got to give him a low rating. And as you say, he didn't link up with any of our players, didn't create anything, didn't dribble past their players, was out muscled for everything. So he's got to get a 2 then. And Calvert-Lewin, it sounds good playing them together. They don't link up with each other. The opposition start getting a lot of their defenders around very narrow against them, and we don't get any space. Maybe if we go back to playing just the one Calvert-Lewin, let him be the focal number 9, and maybe things will work better. There'll be more space around him. But today he was so isolated. He barely got the ball. He barely had a chance. The one chance he did get, he fluffed it into the keeper. So I'm going to give him a 3.
It's a good point. The 2 strikers will only work if you've got width, because the space is out wide because they're all being marked, the forwards, which is a really good point. So as we talk,
it's like Burnley style, isn't it? At the moment, it's like 2 proper sort of Hulk type strikers, like physical strikers you want to get the ball into. They're both trying to do the same job. They're too similar to each other.
Should we do the subs? I'm going to do the subs quickly. Bernard, I can't say anything bad about Bernard. I'm giving him a 6. He looked like he wanted to try and make something happen. I think it's unfair that he doesn't get to play some of the games. I think he's good. He would have been good in some of the home games, certainly when we have more of the ball, or we're trying to have more of the ball. So I'm going to give him a 6. And Sigurdsson, I'm giving him a 4 because I don't think he made an impact. I think he helped a little bit more in terms of ball recovery, maybe. But going forward, he didn't offer anything at all.
5 minutes he offered, I think he looked brighter for, and then after that he didn't offer anything.
He was back to playing left back.
Yeah, I don't know where he was playing. Was he playing in a free with the midfielders? Was he playing left wing? I didn't understand that. He didn't really.
It was like a 4-4-2 diamond, wasn't it?
Didn't work.
He changed to like a 4-4-2 diamond. I'm going to save this last one now. I want to keep this close to 20 minutes. Carlo.
You've missed Gomez.
Or whatever. I mean, for God's sake. He's just more of the same, isn't he? The fact that I've missed him says that, how anonymous. That's the alarm to say that we need to wrap up the video. Andre Gomez, more of the same as Sigurdsson. I'm going to have to give him a 4. I want to move on to the manager. I want you to tell me what you thought, what you'd give the manager today.
I don't know because the players, we've given them all shite ratings.
He had a fully fit team. He had a fully fit team, and that's what he put out.
Yeah, and the players individually delivered those poor ratings. So I can't, the manager was at fault. Certainly, the tactics were wrong, and he changed it at half time for that reason, and they were even worse second half. He made substitutions too late.
So I'm giving him a minus.
But on paper, you couldn't argue with the team that much.
I would have played 1 less defender and 1 more midfielder.
Fine, and that's what he did second half, and it was no better. So maybe
maybe Delph or Gomez. I'm gonna get a dislike for that, but I'm sorry, you have to. Because what we did by having 5 in the back line is invite them on and let them get through the 2-man press at front, which is ineffective because we don't have the wingers to press on the full backs. We let them get past that. We let them get past the midfield because, again, there's only 2 or 3 in the midfield and straight onto the 5 defenders. So I think we should have had someone up there to help press.
It's just we're like an Allardyce team now because we're so bad on the ball. And teams know that who we play against, they'll press us in. They know we can't play 1-2s. We're not quick enough to get past them. So they can press us and we won't create anything. They can push us in and we're useless. So we rely on scraps. We play deep. We play a low block because we're incapable. And we just hope for like an own goal away at Arsenal or just a scrappy little goal from somewhere. And if that doesn't work,
Hope for the
you
best.
know, we get a draw at minimum, and that's away from home. And at home, for some reason, we think we're going to win the game before it starts, and we concede sloppy goals after sloppy goals. And that's it. You know, the manager can only do so much. We've said that the players, and the players can only do so much when there's obviously holes in the team of what positions we don't have the right characteristics for, and that impacts the balance of the team as well.
And on that bombshell of the cat walking across me, we're going to leave it, and we're going to be back with another video at some point soon. So make sure you subscribe to us on YouTube at Follow Everton, and we'll see you again soon. Thanks, Dave.